And how long have you been collecting these things?
Oh, I started probably about 15 years ago, 12, 15 years ago.
Okay. How did you discover them? I mean, was this something that you just ran across one time? And
yeah, I just ran across them from a antique dealer that I had bought some other stuff from, and just became kind of fascinated with them and started buying them, but mostly Santa-related stuff and things like that.
Is there a variety of these that are made, or are they? I see you specialize in Santas, but
yeah, there's a complete variety. A lot of them were made for, there's masks and just about anything you can think of.
So like every holiday or
holidays, there's a lot of holiday stuff centered around Easter and Halloween, and most of them all came from one area in the Philippines that's known for wood carving.
You talked about earlier about that place up in, was it Portland or whatever, where you found?
Yeah, so a lot of these came from from my understanding, a paper mache factory that was long since gone in the Oregon area, and these were left. Some of them were just left inside the building, just kind of piled up in trash heaps. That's where a lot of them were found. Most recently in the Philippines, because that's what they did too. They just piled them up, and when they were done using them, or they wanted something new, and then people started kind of looking at them as collector items for the carving details.
How big a collector market is out there? I mean, how many collectors do you know of these kinds of things?
I don't know of many. I know of one art professor in Ohio, Gene Congress, who's written several articles and a book actually about the molds, and he also collects and is quite an expert on duck decoys, old duck decoys and things like that. So they display quite a few pieces. And
I like this pig over here. What do you know about that, or is it?
Not much. I don't know too much about it other than I just thought it was a unique piece. It's probably one of the only ones I have that's not Santa-oriented, but I just like the carving detail on it.
So you've been collecting for like 15 years. When you started off, did you think this is what I want to collect and discover it, or did you just pick up a few pieces out of interest in it suddenly?
Yeah, I just picked up a few pieces, and then they were very hard to find. Not many people know what they are or have seen them, and I found a few people that had either imported them or collected them throughout the United States, and just slowly started buying some. And haven't collected too many in the last few years, but still looking. They're becoming, I think, a little harder to get.
Yeah. As far as like, if somebody were to assign a value to them, what kind of collector value do they have?
I don't know. They sell their variety of. A lot of it depends on the detail and the carving detail on them. And I've paid anywhere from $45 all the way up to $600 to $800 a piece for them.
And for instance, this piece here, is this considered a pretty detailed kind of?
Pretty detailed, because I think a lot of it, you can look at by looking at them, you can see the artist or the carver that had probably a little more artistic ability than some, maybe, to pull off the facial features and just the other detail work. And so some aren't quite as crisp and proportioned as the others, but all in all, I mean, it shows that these people in the Philippines are some pretty fantastic carvers.
Yeah. You're a wizard. How did you run across the wizard? I mean, that's quite a piece.
I honestly can't remember where I picked that one up at, but it's kind of a different look.
Yeah. How tall is that?
About 3 feet tall.
What are the characteristics that lead you to identify them as molds? Or
Well, when I first saw them, I wasn't quite sure what they were. They just looked like they were just, carved with figures. And then I saw the knife marks on them, and I found out that they were.
Could you point out a knife mark that I can just pull one over?
Yeah, you can see that this one has a lot of knife marks down the details. You can just see where they used it to cut the paper mache loose. And the whole idea is they wrap they start by coating it with wax. And then they apply the paper mache and usually let them dry in the sun. And then they cut the paper mache down the sides to be able to pull the whole piece off. And then they put it back together. Most of them, then they paint the paper mache. They used to be used, they would stuff them with candy.
Like pinatas?
Like a pinata type thing. Or simply just use them for painted decoration. They would paint them and hang them on the wall. I know years ago I remember seeing a lot of the face type Santas that you could buy. I remember them as a kid, the paper mache ones you could buy that would hang on the wall for decoration.
But take a look at the ones that we put in the hallway here. And if you now, this piece here, and the detail on this is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, this one has a lot of detail with the lantern and the little toy soldiers and a little bear and all the little pieces on it and quite a bit of detail on the face.
All right, look at, it's even hard to see the cut marks on it. It looks so pretty well.
Yeah,
It's not really been used.
And some have been used, of course, more than others. And but this one's kind of representative. As you can see, the dirt is still on it.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably just thrown in a pile somewhere.
I love the little stool on there. I mean, that's just
he's
what
sitting
a
on
beautiful
little
piece of
stool.
work on it. I mean, the detail on this piece is impressive. Just from a sculptural thing, let alone for the utility of making it a mold for practical uses. What's this big Santa about?
Well, this one is more kind of almost a wizard type Santa too. He's holding what appears to be a globe, a world globe, some kind of a little basket or lantern type thing here. But then his whole jacket is decorated with stars, and I just thought it was a really kind of an unusual, nice piece.
Have you been able to date any of these in any specific date? Or are they
probably most of them are dated from. Most of these, as far as I can tell, were dated from the probably 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
Some may be more recent, but it's hard to say because you'll find very few of them are signed by the artist. I mean, I don't have any that have been signed. There's several that have marks on them that might be
a designer's mark.
Like this one does have initials on the back of it, of some kind of mark here.
Yeah, it looks like was it E or S?
E or FS or something, but there's a few that have that. There's some that have. There's one I think might be. Several have marks on them that might be associated to a particular artist. This one has a particular kind of flower or star mark that may be associated with a particular artist.
Yeah, because it doesn't look like it's actually part of the design. It's more of an affectation.
But very few are literally signed by the artist.
How many other collectors you know are personally involved in this? Or your kind of collector group that you?
I really don't. Other than Gene and Linda Congas, I really don't know of any other collectors. I mean, I know a couple of people that I've bought from that have imported some things, but I don't really think they're collectors. They're more importers.
Yeah. Any museums expressed any interest in documenting these, or are these pretty much
there have been some, I believe there was a museum show in Ohio that showed some pieces, and